Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I apologize that I have not been uploading anything particularly recently or with any particular regularity. That's on me. I've just been busy. That being said, I'm still working on Lycoris Recoil. In fact, today's video is going to be Lycoris Recoil episode 4. I have rewatched all 3 of the previous episodes so that I still have my bearings on where everything is. And so I'm not doing too bad in that regard. That being said, part of why I haven't posted so much is because I've been watching a lot of other animes, specifically the current season of Ancient Magus Bride. I've been watching a couple of others that I really did not want to do reactions to. So Lycoris Recoil kind of took the back burner. That being said, a lot of the current seasons are ending, so I want to get back to it, at least to finish the reaction set on this one. And then I'm actually looking at getting into some of the animes from this past season to react to as well. I'd like to think I've been pretty good. Some of the ones that really looked interesting, that have potential, I've been trying to avoid. But again, the ones that I did know of that I did enjoy, I kind of wanted to get through those. That being said, my mom's also been doing a lot of yard work around in the back of the house, establishing a garden, a proper garden, something that we have been hit or miss on since we moved into the house. So I've been helping her with that a lot. And in the course of that, I ended up with poison ivy. Yeah, that hasn't been fun. That's probably why my face probably doesn't exactly look the greatest right at the moment, because I've got sores here. I've still got sores all along my jawline from poison ivy that got onto my face. I've got a lot of the irritation that was up around my eye has gone away, but I've still got a little bit like right at the eyelid, which is, again, mostly gone, but it's still sort of there. But that being said, this is also the first day that I've gone mostly without having to reapply calamine or some other sort of anti-itch spray, cream, whatever, to kind of keep things at bay. So I'm doing a lot better, and of course, as I say that, I'm itching right above my ear, but that's not one of the... Well, here is, but up here was not one of the areas that got hit by the poison ivy. And actually, I'm not even entirely sure it was poison ivy. I think it was actually poison sumac, because there was one woody bush that I cut down that I was handling, and from what I saw and doing a little bit of research after the fact, I'm pretty sure it was a bush of poison sumac. So, yeah. Not fun. Not fun in the least. Other things I will say, I've kind of broken one of the things that I said that I wasn't going to do, which is I've gotten back into World of Warships slightly. Nowhere near as much as I was before. I have no intention, and this is one that I will stick to. I have no intention on going back to doing World of Warships videos. If I do, it will be random ones here and there, and certainly not the full-scale review videos or anything like that. But I'm, to put it mildly, right at the moment with my job being between jobs, because as I'm sure I mentioned with the first Lycoris Recoil video and my channel reboot video, I lost my job, so I'm still doing job hunt. I'm doing all of that in the background, but in the meantime, when I'm not helping around the house, I'm pretty much going bored out of my skull. So yeah, I am. So that's why I've been hitting some of the anime that I have as hard as I have been, and getting so heavy into helping my mom with the garden and other stuff. I'm literally freewheeling trying to find things to do. And one of the things that I have not ended up doing has been this. No matter how hard I've tried to actually get to here to do videos, to do the reactions, it's like something else always comes up, or I get distracted by something else and I don't get to here. So here I am. I'm getting to here. I'm on, again, episode 4 of Lycoris Recoil. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get into the video because it is, at this point in time, 1:15 in the morning. My mom's in the other room. I am trying to keep things down a little bit for her so that she can go to sleep because she's a little under the weather. And beyond that, I'll get into the video, and I hope you all enjoy. Okay, kind of all over the map there, isn't she? Okay, so she's trying Chisato's bullets. Makes sense. But it's a little bit more dangerous, too. But then again, she is better at close combat. Nice. Okay, makes sense. I wish my grouping at the range was that good. Uh-oh. What's with the username? Hello. Flip. Wait a minute. Nice. Oh, perfect. 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 Wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, but apparently Chisato's gonna obsess over it. Okay. After that whole discussion, I'm pretty sure that just became a very loaded question. Oh, dear God. So this is going to be one of those episodes. Okay. Yeah. Talk about plain clothes. think she might be enjoying that just a little too much. Is she researching guns? While taking a bath. Let's talk about selective camera angles here for a sec. Okay. Ooh. Okay, fashion show. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Fair point. Hit. Really? Wow. Okay, forgetting everything else in the frame for the moment. Their color schemes don't actually change much, do they? I mean, Takina's outfit and Chisato's outfit are basically just the same as their Lycoris uniforms, just made to look more natural, I guess? More proper civilian? I mean, not that the styles are bad, mind you, but their color schemes don't change much, do they? It's just a little bit of food? I would find that one difficult to believe. After 10 years of anything, you'd get sick of it. Oh, come on, Takina, live a little. Yeah, there's that. I mean, it would make sense you'd have to exercise as it is anyway, being in their position, so... Leave it to Chisato to help out. Look at Takina enjoying herself when Chisato's not watching. Whoa, did she recreate the picture in 3D? She's using the VR headset to explore it. Well, she's not a tech whiz for nothing, I guess. Interesting. Nice aquarium. Awesome. Really, Takina? Since when does actual life have practicality? Okay, fair point. It's an interesting question, but they're talking about this in public and nobody cares. Okay, why was I just thinking about John Wick 2 when he's getting the suits tailored? Cutting edge body armor, no penetration, a little painful. Okay, anyway, moving on. Well, she is kind of mysterious. That's an interesting question. Wait a minute. Isn't that the emblem that's being used by the organization that is behind everything right now? Burn. Wow. $10. You figure these girls are what, 16, 17? Had to be pretty young. There you go, Takina. Wow. For Takina to come out like that. And this is the guy that's popping up everywhere anyway. Just, what is... I really want to know what's going on here. This guy seems like he's behind everything, but he's also closely tied to Chisato, apparently, and the director of the cafe, or the owner, or the teacher. How many titles does that guy have? But what does he have to do with any of this? I'm sure we'll find out in time. Wait a minute. This guy was at the gun deal. If that's the case, those are a lot of firearms. Oh, wait a minute. That's the gun Takina used. And suddenly the area is swarmed with Lycoris. Interesting. Something's going down, obviously. Is it taking out a subway train? Holy crap, just a little bit of firepower? Overkill! Dear God. The door still opens. Oh, really? Wow, that's a... Hey, you're hit, dude. Wait a second, that's a detonator. Whoa. Yeah, you're not in uniform. Something tells me that's way out of your hands at this point anyway. Oh, what's with that smug laugh? There were a lot of people on that train. It was just all Lycoris. Yeah? Yeah, I'm sure there is. Wait a minute. Oh, God. Oh, God. Wow. What the hell? Wow. Wow. So yeah, he was there at the gun deal. He's been hit a couple of times, apparently. Wow. This guy. Why does that scare me? Okay, so I have just finished the 4th episode of Lycoris Recoil. As I said in the video, who is this one guy? Why does he keep popping up? I mean, he's shown up since episode 1, and he's clearly tied to whatever's going on in the background, as well as Chisato, and the teacher. It's like he's got hands in all the pots. I'm sure it'll be explained, and I don't want anybody to come out and give me any spoilers, okay? Don't get me wrong on that, but holy crap, what isn't this guy involved in? On the plus side, it's nice to see that Takina is finally starting to open up and actually enjoy herself here and there. Of course, she's still laser focused whenever it comes to anything that she decides is worthy of her attention work-wise, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's nice to see that she's actually starting to take some pages out of Chisato's book. She's enjoying herself a little bit more. She's being a human being. It's nice to see that side coming out of her. I did comment on the color schemes already during the episode, so I'm not going to go into that again, except to say that, again, the color schemes don't change much, do they? I mean, I suppose it helps set them apart, but at the same time... And the game. That was too funny. Where the other girl and Chisato were using their own names in the game and fighting each other in a shooter game. That's way too funny. And of course, seriously, the plot of the episode was focused around the fact that Takina did not have ladies' underwear. Really? Was that truly necessary? I mean, okay, to a point I can kind of understand where some of it might be, with Chisato humanizing Takina a little bit more and making her be a little bit more girly and not laser focus Lycoris 100% all the time. But even so, do we really have to have almost an entire episode devoted to this? Really? I got nothing. Just way too funny. Way too out there. Lastly, let's talk about the gun deal guy. I mean, we've got... Going through the VR footage and seeing that he was there, then seeing him involved in that subway incident, and now that that's gone all pear-shaped, he's aiming for something bigger, and he's looking towards the tower that Chisato saved. I don't like that. I think he's going to do something that Chisato's going to have to fix or get pissed at, and all hell's going to break loose. What else is new? I suppose this is the lead into where we start getting more of Chisato's backstory. I mean, we already got a little bit. What with the necklace, which is, from everything that we've seen so far, I believe tied to the Allen Corporation. Is that what it is? So, kind of curious to see where that goes. And now I'm scratching at my scabs. When my mind's freewheeling, it's a thoughtless action. But okay, anyway, kind of afraid to see what his next goal, what his next plan here is going to be. That could be dangerous. I do find it rather interesting that the firearm that he used on the subway was basically the same gun that Takina used to save the one Lycoris in the first episode. That was a hell of a lot of firepower, but at the same time, now recognizing that the subway was loaded up with Lycoris, whether or not that was something that was planned and he was targeting that, or if it was something else, it really begs some questions. What came first? Was he targeting the subway and the Lycoris showed up to counter? Or were the Lycoris involved in a secret move of some sort and he decided to attack? I mean, clearly, to a certain degree, it backfired both ways. Because, one, he brought bombs, and I can pretty much guarantee that there were a lot of Lycoris that were lost in that attack. So, while no civilians were there, no eyewitnesses it's kind of suspicious. I'm sure we're going to get more on that story at some point also. But that was a lot of Lycoris that just bit the dust. And it seemed like there was no particular rhyme or reason for it unless they were either the targets or flipped in for another target. So there was that. Guy got clipped. I mean, at least I can say that they did something to him in return, and they took out all his guys too. I'm sure he lost a bunch of the guns, at least the ones that he was using. But the simple fact is he got away, and now he's planning something bigger and worse. That's not... This guy's escalating things. And, okay, to a point, I suppose I can see a little bit that he's wanting to expose the Lycoris on the whole to the general public, which really begs the question whether or not the general public actually recognizes at least just the concept that Lycoris exist. But at the same time, based on what that conversation was with the hacker, it would seem that maybe the general public is not fully aware, or at least not so aware that they actually really care. So there's that. But it's difficult to say what my feelings are in regards to any of that. I mean, okay, the secret fighting force in the background that kind of keeps the peace but doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of oversight, that's dangerous in and of itself, like a secret police. That's not something that I would ever support in any event. But we're talking anime, we're not talking real life here. But the simple fact is, it's still not something that I would ever agree with. That being said, they are focused on at least trying to keep the peace from the background. Maybe not necessarily the greatest idea that they're young girls, because there's all kinds of, I can think of moral issues to that. But then again, it seems like most of the higher-ups, at least at DA, are female. I mean, when Chisato and Takina went to DA in episode 3, the secretary, the director, they're all female. So it seems like the director, the higher-up positions, are for Lycoris who are either more successful as they get older, or as they get older and can no longer maintain the high school girl guise, get moved on into other positions. So, or more administrative positions rather than actual field positions, which would make sense to a certain extent. Kind of curious to see. It does make me wonder, though, because they can't all have upper-level positions. So what happens to the ones that don't make the cut? What happens to them? Kind of makes me wonder a little bit. Are they let go and released back into normal society? Like brainwashed or memory erasure or whatever? Again, questions that I suppose we'll get answers to eventually. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Anything's possible at this point. But anyway, interesting episode. Again, I love seeing Takina actually being a person. And of course, I've been talking this whole time with my display capture actually on. Yeah, loving Takina actually being a person. Taking some notes out of Chisato's book. Also nice to see that we're getting at least some hints at Chisato's past a little bit. And again, what does she have to do 10 years ago with the guy whose hands are in everything right at the moment? That almost seems like something that he could pull out of his back pocket as like a last moment leverage if things are getting too tight. And No, Garrus, it really can't. But anyway, just loving the character development on Takina's part, and loving the hints of the backstory for Shisato. Of course, lots more questions. Some questions are starting to be answered, but not quite yet. We're still early on in the series. I mean, this is 12 episodes. Usually you don't get a whole lot of answers by episode 4. But nice to see that some progression is taking place. Scary progression, maybe, but it is what it is. Anyway, on that note, it is now a little after 2 in the morning here, so I'm going to let everybody go. I hope you all enjoyed the reaction once I upload it. Should be, what? This is 2 a.m. Thursday, so I'm hoping to actually have it edited and out on Thursday during the day. So I'll see if I get that far. Let me rephrase that. I'm just going to get that far. This is going to be up same day after I get sleep. It's been a long day. Anyway, have a good night. Love you all. Take care. Stay safe. And if you're gaming out there, happy hunting.